everybody, this is Enyon. I'm Ghana's finest farmer. Thanks for joining me on my channel. If this is your first time, please remember to subscribe and share the videos. If it's about farming in Ghana, then this is the place to be. Now, I caught up with my brother, whom I've been watching a few times on YouTube, and apparently we have the same story, but today I'm just going to give you a glimpse of it, and then I'll come to Uganda. So Uganda, watch out for me. I'll be coming there to have a detailed one. But his name on YouTube is
Dennis Duke, Uganda. I'm super happy to have met the finest Ghanaian farmer.
Awesome. Nice meeting you, bro. Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
So now, your story relates to mine.
Okay.
Why would you switch from journalism to become a farmer?
I worked in the journalism industry for quite some time, and there's quite a lot that I got there because I grew up wanting to become a journalist, and it was interesting to be on TV. But like they say, there's usually time for everything. I reached a point when I really wanted to switch for various reasons, one of them including financial. In my country, journalism is good, but not appreciated financially. So, and then I was growing, and a lot of bills were piling. So I said, you know what can I do to be able to sustain myself? So I said, let me quit.
Okay.
And I quit my job. It was the most risky thing to do. But right now, reflecting on it is quite the best decision I've ever made in my world. Yes.
So in which year did this happen?
That was in 2019.
2019.
Yes. And one of the challenges that I got, maybe I should say that as well, is I quit in 2019. 2020, the country is locked down because of COVID-19. Things were hard.
I know.
Because now it meant COVID had disrupted all my plans.
Yeah.
Because no movement, no nothing. You literally are in your house or in your homes. So, but eventually the restrictions were lifted, and we went back to normal, and that's when we set up the Duke's Farm in Uganda. The journey has been quite interesting. We do majorly rabbit. We're now going into goats. We shall go into... It's going to be quite big. I mean, it's going to be a mixed farm. But our major focus, the short-term focus, is to ensure that we do a little more of social agriculture, training young people, even older persons, because I even talk to older people meanwhile that are even older than me, and because they find my information very fascinating, very interesting. Now, coming from a background of journalism or journalism world, it became very, very easy for me to create content. And that's why you see me on YouTube. Because these are the same things I used to do, I mean, in the other world. So I just decided to do it, but for agriculture. But why we do it is simply because when we were starting up our farm, there wasn't as much information. I mean, the information online was scanty. And then we tried to reach out to a lot of farmers who were there. I mean, they were doing good, but majority of them are very poor when it comes to communication. You reach out to somebody, they respond after a week. I mean, even if they respond, they are not very willing to share. I mean, tell me you need money, you need consultation fee, and I'll pay, and give me information. But not everybody was as willing, open up. Like, people are very, and that's a problem with Ugandans. A lot of people in business, they don't give out information. They want to be rich, or they want to be prosperous a lot. So now we saw that there was an opportunity for us to actually create content. Because people were yearning for information, and we gave out that information free of charge, meanwhile, on our YouTube channel. And so that's where the social agriculture started from. Yeah, and I will tell you that a lot of farmers, a lot of people have consulted me. They've really thanked me for having started the YouTube channel, but also being like, it is very difficult for me to take a day or even 3 hours without responding to somebody. Yet other farmers take like a week. And even if they respond, they don't give people what they need. So the people have really thanked me for being hands-on, quick, like, because I come from the communication world. I can't do otherwise. I mean, I need to be a communication specialist. But because I'm also a young person, I try as much as I can to be online, because That's the future.
Okay.
Yeah, not just for agriculture, but the entire financial economies of Africa.
Okay. Why rabbits?
Why rabbits? Well, initially we wanted to do chickens, but remember we were in COVID when we started our farm. So there were a couple of challenges that faced the poultry industry. Number one, food supply
Yeah.
had increased, like because of no movements. Eggs were really cheap. I mean, cheap. Eggs were cheap, but the feed cost was way high.
Okay.
So everybody that was doing poultry or chicken farming discouraged us, and we could see it. I mean, people were struggling. A tray
To maintain their farms.
eggs were going for about 5,000, 6,000 Uganda shillings. That's about $1 or $2 or $3, something like that. Not even $3 actually. It was $2 at most, but majority of them were selling it at $1.5. That's very, very little money compared to the cost of production. So we looked at what can we do that is not very, cost effective.
Yeah.
So we chose rabbit farming because it requires little capital. When you're not, it depends on the level of rabbit farm you want to set up. But yes, compared to chicken, it does not feed in your pocket directly. They can survive with grass that you can just plant, which is not the same with chickens, unless you're doing local chickens. But even then, so what we do is just substituting. But that was the main reason as to why we went into rabbit farming.
Is that big market for rabbits in Uganda?
Not big. We're trying to create it. I mean, for example, ourselves, we've created a restaurant called Sungura House.
Okay.
Now, this restaurant is basically dealing majorly in rabbit meat. So that is creating market, not just for us, but for even other farmers. But the market is growing. There is market, there is demand for rabbit and rabbit meat, but it's still growing.
Okay.
It hasn't been, revolutionized, because rabbit farming and rabbit meat is a new phenomenon.
Yeah.
As much as rabbits have been in existence for quite some time, it is new.
Okay.
Most especially when it comes to commercial rabbit farming. So a lot of people are now starting to join the venture. There's quite a lot of difficulty here and there, most especially when it comes to market, and most especially to farmers that are not and have not adapted social media and social marketing and social media advertising. They are facing it rough because rabbit farming is just like any other business. If you don't tell the world that you have these rabbits,
Nobody
they will
will know about
definitely
it.
never know.
Yeah.
But me, I've been lucky and fortunate enough that I know how to use these digital platforms, so market hasn't been a problem as yet. I'm very okay.
I see. But how did you come by the capital to start? Or was it from your earnings?
Not
during
at
the
all. It took me about a year
Yeah.
to collect some good money after I left. I was doing a couple of jobs here and there.
Right.
I'd gained a lot of skills, so I do a lot of things meanwhile.
Okay.
Yes, I am a man of different facets.
I know.
So I did gather some funds, and then I got a loan.
Okay.
So I was
And then
able
you
to start.
started.
Absolutely.
How has the journey been so far?
Very
4-5
good.
years now?
Very good. I mean,
Okay.
it's interesting. It's interesting identifying as a farmer.
Yeah.
One of the things that I got was the liberty to do literally everything I want and to do things my way
You-
in my time. I'm no longer put on pressure like, oh, you have to wake up at 7.
Yes.
No, I only wake up at 7 when I want, not when somebody else wants.
Yeah.
No, it is when I want.
When you have number of stories to
Yes,
do.
or when I have maybe something to do at the farm that requires me to wake up very early, then that is what I do. But on a daily, no. I mean, it's been quite a journey.
Okay.
I've got to meet a lot of people. I've got to interact with a lot of people. I've made a living out of it, and I do not regret.
How are young people embracing farming or agriculture in Uganda?
Oh, they are actually embracing
Very
agriculture.
active?
Very, very active, meanwhile, because we've come out, we are championing agriculture. A lot of young people are adapting to the message.
Okay.
But also, most importantly, Uganda favors agriculture a lot.
Oh,
We
okay.
have 2 wet seasons. One stretches from around Feb, March, April, around May. And then another, then we go into the dry. And then later around June, August, September, November there's also wet season. So we are able to plant crops
Okay.
all year through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Except with the exception of the northern region that sometimes it's stricken by drought
Okay.
because of the weather up there. But generally, I mean, if the country is 80% receiving rainfall, then Uganda is a food basket for the region, and that's why we call the Pearl of Africa.
Oh, please don't brag now.
No, I'm not bragging.
Hello, I'm from Ghana.
That's
Don't
the
brag
truth.
yet.
That's the truth. Those are facts.
All right. Okay. So, lastly, sell Uganda. If there's an African or an investor, potential investor in the European or Europe,
Yes.
who is looking for to come in to invest,
Uganda is a virgin land.
Okay.
Most especially when it comes to agriculture,
Right.
but also in other sectors. We have a very young growing population. That means it offers labor
Okay.
and cheap labor, to be specific. There is available land. Land is available, a lot of it.
Okay.
The weather is quite interesting. So when you have labor, you have land, you have the raw material available, then that promotes industrialization.
Okay.
It promotes agriculture. It promotes we are looking at yes, investors in farming, but also we want to have people that set up industries to be able to process some of these foods, and some of these things are labor and capital intensive that a normal average Ugandan may not. So I call upon exactly.
Okay.
So people in the diaspora, don't fear. Uganda is safe. Meanwhile, for the last, I think, 30 years, we've been peaceful. We've not had any coup. We've not had any trouble. I mean, there are those small incidents, but the country is generally
good
peaceful.
to go.
Exactly.
Today we are in Senegal. There are about 10 young African social agriculturists who have gathered here for the past 4 days, thanks to MasterCard Foundation and Caribou
Digital. Yes.
And it is because of the work we are doing, educating, informing, creating employment, and also encouraging investors to look in the area of agriculture. How does it feel being selected as one of these people to be here?
It feels extremely big. When we were starting our YouTube channel, we didn't have these things. I mean, we didn't have them in thoughts that, oh, maybe one time we would be recognized and be like, oh, you're championing agriculture, you're doing good. And then when it comes, you're like, whoa, it's actually a big thing, And looking at the companies or corporations that are behind this, you're like, yo, if MasterCard Foundation can recognize us as young farmers, if Caribou Digital can collectively come together, can bring us collectively together, then it means it's something big. So I think from now onwards, I'm not going to take it lightly like before. I don't mean to say that I was taking it lightly, but I mean, I didn't have as much. I was just doing my job, disseminating information, trying to teach people here and there, and encourage a lot more people to join farming. But it's now going to be on a bigger scale.
Okay.
I mean, the future is social media.
Right.
And you can't have the future without agriculture. And therefore, social agriculture is a very, very big tool. It's a very, very big key player in the development of economies, development of countries, because a lot of African countries their backbone depends on agriculture, because you can't have industries without agriculture. People can't eat food without agriculture. Nutrition can't be, famine can be erased with agriculture. So championing agriculture, most especially using the existing digital platforms, is something that I'm now taking, and I think everybody else should take very, very seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
What fun memories are you living in Senegal with?
What, sorry?
Fun memories. Are you living?
Fun memories.
Yeah.
Excusez-moi.
This man,
Yes.
of all the French that is going on here, all he could learn is
Excusez-moi. I think I was talking to somebody earlier that I find French very sexy.
Okay.
Excusez-moi, sure,
Mademoiselle,
yeah. So,
Monsieur.
but it has also it's also a wake up call for me to go back and study French. I'm gonna do it because I was challenged a little. I mean, here the majority of people speak French.
Yeah.
But also, you want to know that there are a couple of countries in Africa that speak French. And a person that is doing social agriculture, I'm yet to meet a lot of French people speaking nations, and I'm about to travel a lot. So learning French has been like a take home message for me. Okay. But also, I love the people. They're warm, they're welcoming. Except that in Uganda we are warmer, we are more welcoming. But they are equally good. Okay. The buzzing city, the horse as a means of transport here was quite interesting. So yeah, I'm very, very happy I came around.
Great. Okay. Now have the microphone.
Yep.
And talk to Ugandans.
Yes.
Tell them about the Ghanaian farm and why they should look forward, subscribe, and watch my channel.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The Ghanaian farmer is somebody I've watched online, and thanks to Karibu Digital and MasterCard Foundation that I've actually got to meet her. She's going to come to Uganda, but one thing I can talk about her is she's a wonderful lady. Let me tell you, finding a lady that is doing what she does is not easy. Most especially in Africa, they are faced with a lot of challenges, sexual harassment. Some of them are being used for what they have. I mean, people don't respect women in these spaces, but I love the fact that she has stood up there and she's doing this not just for herself but for young Africans. I think she's doing an amazing job, and you should actually be proud, most especially Ghanaians. You should be proud of her, support her. Let me tell you, in Uganda they have supported me. Jesus Christ. I'm not complaining. They've generously supported me,
massive.
whether with money, financial support, socially. They've shared my videos, they've visited my farm, they've recommended me. Jesus Christ, it's just a lot. I'm about to launch my Kenyan visit, and I'm about to go to Kenya. I'm very certain 100% they're going to render me support. So guys, if you do not render her support, the work she does is nothing.
Relocate to
Uganda. And we shall take her away from you. So please give her all the support she needs.
Right.
I'll give her all the support she needs when she comes to Uganda.
Thank you very much, bro.
You're
I
welcome.
truly appreciate this.
Thank
so
you.
Ugandans, you have a big man. I mean, if he could take the risk to resign from his monthly paid salary to become a social agriculturalist and a farmer, an educator, you too can do it. It's nothing too much impossible. We are here to groom, to guide, and to support you, just like MasterCard Foundation and Digital, Karibu Digital is doing for us, so we can also impact on others. So stay tuned and watch out for me. But remember to check out his channel on YouTube. Once again,
Duke Uganda.
Dennis Duke Uganda.
So that thing is making you lose direction.
Nice one. Calm down. You must have played like a couple of times. Okay, next. Go. This one will fall, I'm telling you. Look at it. Time, yes.
Stop holding that. You have to give.
Please help one of you help me with pictures for
No. Ali, let's go. That's a good one. Sir, tell him in French that they are holding the stuff. Tell him in French that they are holding the stuff.
You're supposed to hold that.
They are holding the
-1. I see -1.
You are holding the stuff. Okay, let's go. Go.
Outside.
Over the back. Oh yeah. Over the back. Over the back.